Welcome to day 87 of 66 and 26. We're back in the Old Testament book of Job today, and every time we're in the book of Job, we're reminded that God allows certain things in our lives that are painful and not always a direct result of something that we have done, and that's a cause of discipline for us from God. This seems to actually be the attitude of Job's friends. Including today in chapter 11 of Job, we hear from Job's friend Zophar, who seems to have the idea that if God is bringing this devastation upon Job, he must have done something wrong. And if Job would just call out to the Lord and confess his sins, then God will bless him. And if Job would be right with God, then everything will go well with him. That's not always the case. There's not always a one-to-one correspondence with what happens that is terrible and disastrous and troublesome and painful in our lives that can be tracked back to something that we did wrong. Certainly God does discipline us at times, but Job is an example of a righteous and upright man who suffered not because of anything he had done. And sometimes the suffering that we experience in this life causes a number of different reactions. I think about a woman that I worked with in high school who told me that she could not believe in a God who would allow her mother to die because she experienced her mother's passing away, and she turned away from God. And sometimes that is a reaction. Sometimes we have a reaction much like Zophar's reaction, where we think that the pain that we experience in this life is a result of our sin. And that's not always the case either. Then there's this reaction of Job. In Job chapter 9, Job says, "Who can say to God, 'What are you doing?'" Because God is so much greater and so much more powerful and so much wiser than we can ever imagine. He is the one who stretches out the heavens, who is the only one who treads upon the sea, the one who created the Bear and Orion, the Pleiades and the constellations of the south. I'm reminded of Chris Tomlin's song, Indescribable. Who has told every lightning bolt where it should go, or seen heavenly storehouses laden with snow? Who imagined the sun and gives source to its light, or conceals it to bring us the coolness of night? It's a reminder to us that God is greater than we are, and we can't even begin to imagine why he allows certain things, whether that is for the wicked to prosper for a season or for the righteous to suffer for a season. We can't know. And that's the reminder for us of Job. And all we have is to rest in the assurance that God is always good, and he is good. During this Holy Week, which we're celebrating now in the season of Lent, moving toward Maundy Thursday, Good Friday, and Easter, we are reminded of the goodness of God, the goodness that compelled him to send his son to suffer for us and to pay the price for our sin. And no matter what we experience in this life, we can have hope that the resurrection and not death is the last word, and that no matter what we suffer in this life, it will come to an end someday. And we will rise from the ashes, we will rise from death to new life in Jesus Christ, our Savior.